Alright, we will be practice drawing our dolphin, and then we're going to do our real deal dolphin on our pretty sunset that we did last week. So the very first thing we're going to do is we are going to make almost like this, I call it like a banana shape. So what we're going to do is because he's jumping over the sun, we need him kind of curvy. So I'm going to do a curved line. But I'm not going to come all the way down here. I'm not going to make it like a rainbow. I'm going to leave one side short, and I'm going to bring the other side down. Okay. And remember how we said that the dolphin was it was a lot thicker. He was a lot thicker around his tummy. So I'm going to actually bring this on up and make him thicker towards the center. I'm going to leave him skinnier down here. Okay. Now I'm actually going to take and I'm going to block this off. I'm actually going to make almost like a square right here, because the dolphin's head, remember, it actually comes out. We talked about that. It actually comes out, and then he's got his beak. So I'm going to actually kind of square this off, because this is going to be the hardest part, the head. Now, I'm going to put that beak right there on the bottom, and your beak shouldn't be as big as the width of your paintbrush. Make sure it's kind of roundy. But you really want that, it's almost like a sideways V, but not quite so pointy, because remember his head kind of pokes out. Now, he's not thick enough, so I'm going to actually go up here and I'm going to add another until I get him about as thick as I need him. Until he looks right. Okay. Maybe I can put him a little thicker here. So until he looks right, you want to make sure that he's thicker in the center. He's got a beak, that head kind of pokes out. He's thinner down here. I'm going to go ahead and add that U on the bottom of his tail. Just a simple little U. Alright, now I'm going to add his little flippers. Now this is important. His little flippers actually slant back. So you're going to come to about right at the back of his head, and you're going to slant back. It's a very simple stroke, but if you make it straight up and down, he's going to look like a shark. So make sure they slant back, and then you're going to come right up underneath his little neck here, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to slant it back. And then you can kind of go back and adjust him. Maybe I want him a little thicker here. Just keep telling yourself he's thicker at the top or in the middle, and then he gets thinner. He's got that little bumped head, so make sure you put that little V, that little sideways V, his beak, his flippers slant back. That's important. Okay? And then you should have something that looks about like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this is about what the little dolphin's going to look like. I probably could have made him a little thinner here. That's okay. Maybe I'll make his tail a little bigger. And just kind of adjust him until he kind of looks right. Okay. And when you're done with your dolphin, remember you actually have like a, well again, maybe he's not thick enough. Sometimes if you just adjust it just a little bit, it'll really start looking more like a, that's a little better. He's a little bit thicker up here. His back is a little thicker. That means I need to make his little fin a little bigger. And that's okay. I'm glad I'm doing this, because this is going to show you if you make the same mistake, you can do the same thing. Just make sure you go back and adjust his little fins and make them bigger. That means I need to come up to his head and make it a little bigger. That probably looks a little more like a dolphin. I just didn't have him thick enough. Okay, so once you do that, you actually, we've already done the reflections in the water. What we're going to do is add the little splash, but we're going to use an oil pastel to do that. And all you're going to do is you're just going to do little dots or little strokes like this at the bottom. You want it kind of wide at the bottom, just little strokes like this, like little dots. And you want it to go almost up to like a capital A, okay? It's going to get, it's almost like a fountain. It's going to be shorter strokes up at the top. If you want to add a few little strokes off to the side, you can. You don't want to do too many little splashes of water. It won't look as realistic. But I thought the oil pastel looked pretty good. You can't really go wrong with that. So if you want to add a few little splashes at the bottom, just make sure that it's wider and thicker. You're going to have thicker white at the bottom where he's coming out of the water, and then it just kind of goes up into a little point. All right, and then when you're done with that, we will start our palm tree project. Okay, have fun.